for me, work for me, work the body for me, what, work it, work it, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down.
Hey everyone, this is John from Models by John Michael. If y'all could go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be great. The other thing you can do is follow me on Facebook and Instagram and check out some of the stuff I got posted there. So in this video, I want to talk about and demonstrate how to do a wash. Now my preferred method or my preferred product to do washes is Flory's. It's Flory's by Flory's Models. It's a company out of the UK. There is a US distributor for it. If you just look it up on Google, you can find it, or you can just buy it from the UK as well. The nice thing about this particular wash is that it works with any kind of paint, any kind of finish, gloss. It'll work on flat, it'll work on anything. This is a clay-based wash, believe it or not. So it's water soluble. Basically, you brush it on, and then you take either cotton buds or Q-tips, or a wet paper or a damp paper towel, not a wet one, but a damp paper towel, and then you remove the excess, and that will give you your wash. Now, some of the questions you may ask is, why would I do a wash? Well, there are a few different reasons. One might be if you're trying to bring out detail in a model. That's normally why I do a wash. Another reason might be is you're trying to simulate weathering effects on a model. Maybe an area where dirt might collect on a model naturally. Exposure to the environment. Now, there's one thing to take into consideration when you're doing a wash is think about the environment that vehicle or aircraft might be operating in. And that's why Flory's makes a number of different washes. So I have this one here. This one's, as you already see, dark dirt. I've got gray, brown, black, and sand. And I think they make a few other colors. I think there's one called cement, if I remember correctly. So they do make a few different colors in these washes, and they're all clay-based. They're all essentially the same. And it's really, really easy to apply, which is what I'm going to show you. So normally when I use this stuff, I take and I pour it into like a little like medicine cup, like what you'd use, to give medicine to a child or something like that. The reason for that is so that I'm not taking my brush and dipping it into the bottle and potentially having this cross-contamination issue, which I don't want to have. So I figured that if I can minimize that and just use the stuff out of this cup, and then as I run out, I can just refill the cup and then keep going from there. So there is kind of a method to the madness if you really think about it. You don't have to do it that way. I've seen them, many other modelers. There are other videos out there you can find on how to use this stuff, and they will just dip the brush right into the bottle itself. So like right into here. So it's all completely up to you. Doesn't really matter how you want to do it, but I would encourage you checking this stuff out if you use, and if you use other methods of weathering, you can at least give this a go. I think a bottle of this stuff, I'm not sure, I think they're less than $10 US, and they do last a long time. So that is the nice thing about it. So without further ado, so I will just go ahead and I'll stick my brush into the weather wash. And then I'll do this I'll just hold the model up. I think that'll be the best way to demonstrate this to you all. So here we go on my wing. And then I'm just gonna start smearing it on. And then once you've got it applied, you want to wait about 20 minutes or so till it's dry, because if you wipe it off when it's wet, you're just going to literally, just remove everything you just applied onto the model, and that's not really what you want to do, obviously. So very, very easy. Not really a whole lot of precision goes into this. One thing to take note of, though, is that if your model is not, if you don't apply a gloss coat to your model, so if you just apply it directly to the paint, or if you do a flat coat and then you apply this stuff, the weather wash, I've noticed, will tend to stain lighter colors, so like white especially. And so if you're applying like a black or a dark dirt, it will stain it. So just something to be very, very mindful of as you apply this. I have applied it to just a white coat before, a flat coat before, and if you want the staining effect, there's, you can definitely do that. So, you can apply multiple coats of this stuff. So like if you apply one coat of the wash and then you let this dry for about 20 minutes, it's actually that actually looks really light on there. I think my wash may be a little runny. This is a brand new bottle, so I might need to shake it up a little better. But you can apply several coats of this stuff, which is really nice to to be able to do. So you can apply one coat, let it dry, apply another coat, and then you can wipe it off. So it's very, very easy to use, very user-friendly, very forgiving, because it's one of those things where if you make a mistake on something, it's easier, it's fairly easy to remove, and then you just reapply, and then you just, keep going from there. So it's not hard to use this stuff at all. Very, very easy. And if you're a beginner modeler, or if you're beginning to dive into the world of weathering, this is probably one of the best products, in my humble opinion, that you can get your hands on that doesn't have a super steep learning curve. And you can use this stuff, learn from it, and it won't ruin your model. That's the other nice thing too. So because there are other weathering techniques that are out there, such as like enamel type stuff that you can use, and if you're not careful with it, it will eat into your paint coat, which ruins your paint coat, and then then you're forced with looking at, well, now I need to apply a different, I need to reapply my paint. So, and we all work hard on our models, and if that's not something that you want to do, is reapply another coat of paint, well, it's just, you're just creating more work for yourself in the long run. But this stuff, however, is not like that at all. I've been using this stuff for 5-6 years at least now. I discovered it on a Facebook group, actually, because somebody was talking about it. Someone mentioned it. Someone was looking for a wash that would be easy to work with, and of course they mentioned this stuff. It's over the last few years, I would say it's gotten more popular within the modeling community, because I think as more people across the community discover this stuff, the word has really gotten out. And it's kind of the same thing with the AK weathering pencils, which I've got a set of those, and I love those things. Sadly, I haven't really been using them a whole lot lately. I'm not going to use them on this model, I don't think. I'll say that. I might use them, and that's just so I can simulate some exposure to seawater, because this is a seaplane. This is an OS2U Kingfisher. I'm sure you've seen some of my other videos on it. So you know, it's just like I said, you know, the beginning of this video, you want to be mindful of the environment that your vehicle operates in. I mean, this is a seaplane, so it's going to have a lot of exposure to seawater. And these things, these Kingfishers, they were definite workhorses of the fleet for the Navy in World War II. So, and our allies did use them as well. So, anyway, I am going to finish brushing this thing, and then we'll come back to the video once this is dry, and I'll show you the next step. So, hang in there. Talk to you soon. All right, guys, it's been roughly 20 minutes, and for the most part, it's dry. Sometimes in the little like nooks and crannies and stuff, it doesn't always dry completely. But I've decided I'm going to actually add another coat, so it's a little on the lighter side. I want it a little heavier than that, but like along the wing right here, you know, on each side, it's not quite dry yet, but that's neither here nor there. So I am dipping back into the cup, and I poured out back into the bottle what I had in my little cup here, and then remixed it because it was a little too watery. So I'm going to go ahead and start reapplying. So you can already tell that's a lot darker than what I was working with before, which is kind of what I want, because I like to have those panel lines a little more pronounced. So this will give me a much darker coat. Now, of course, you have to let this other coat dry as well, just like you did the first one. This way it allows, you know, the wash to get into those lines, the panel lines and whatnot. Because the goal of this one is to let that detail come out, you know, with the paneling and everything on a model like this. So I'll just finish this wing for now. Okay, you guys get the basic idea. So I will go ahead, I'll pause the video, I'll finish in the meantime putting the wash on the rest, the top of the model. I'm not going to do the bottom in this video, but I'll finish doing the top. We'll wipe the top, and then we'll go from there. So see y'all in a bit. Alrighty, so I've got the second coat fully on the model, as I'll show you here. And as you noticed from previously, it's a little bit darker. And now we can go ahead and we can start removing it. So I just have a paper towel here. It's damp. It's important that you do damp and not wet, as far as like soaking wet with water. You don't want water dripping off of it. You just want it damp to the touch. And then basically all you do is you take your paper towel and you start wiping. And obviously you don't want to go very hard, because then you start removing things you don't want to remove other than just the wash. So, and you just gently go around see, you start removing your wash, and then you will start to see, as you remove it, some of your paneling lines they show up a little bit better with this method. Now it does take, it might take more than one coat, might take a little, might take 2 or 3. I guess it depends on how dark you want it. Now I know some people, they'll use like the panel, like the pin pens, or what are the panel line pens, or whatever they call it, to do the same thing. The problem with those is sometimes, because I believe they are enamel based, they may cause issue with certain paints and whatnot. So this, like I said previously, this stuff is compatible with all paints, so you really don't have to worry about compatibility issues when it comes to that. So I'll just go ahead and I'll flip the towel around, and I'll just continue wiping with the damp part of the towel. I'll just do this wing for this video. I'll save you having to suffer watching me do the entire model in this video. Alright, so I've got a decent amount removed. I don't have everything removed off of that wing. As you can see, it leaves you with some nice detail. And I will also be taking pictures of this model. You'll see them on my Instagram page, my Facebook page, as far as like the after the wash type results. So just go ahead and look there. You'll see them there. Hopefully this video helps you out. If you've been thinking about picking up the Flory's weather washes, I definitely recommend try giving them a try. Give them a shot. Pick a color and go for it. The color I use most, I think I said it already, was the dark dirt. So that's this one here. It's the one I use most often. The second most often one that I use is black. And you can also use these to simulate not only dirt and grime, but you can also use them to simulate maybe an oil leak or something like that. So you could use like the brown to simulate an oil leak if you wanted to, things like that. So you can play around with it a little bit, and it'll give you some different looks depending what you're trying to accomplish. So, so if you're working with a tank, they're great for tanks, they're great for planes, they're great for, if you just want to do dirt and grime on something, maybe you're doing a diorama and you want to dress that up a little bit, Flory's is good for that stuff too. And I have never done it, but apparently you can thin this stuff down enough to run it through an airbrush. I think just using water, because it's water-based already. So I haven't done it myself, but it's something else you could possibly do as well. So anyway, guys, that's all I got in this video. Hope it helps you out. So with that, I'll say happy modeling. Take care.